Good morning to everybody, and thank you for joining the World Innovation Series, created by Latam Tech UK in partnership with Contexto. I am Cesar Miramontes, Head of Multimedia at Contexto.com, the world's top news site for entrepreneurship, technology, and venture capital in Latin America. It is my pleasure to introduce the moderators of this webinar, Sandra Sinico and Gustavo Sanchez Roulet, co-founders of Latam Tech UK, a consultancy that provides soft landing services for scale-ups and companies in innovative sectors. This series of webinars has to act as a permanent monitor of innovative people, industries, and hubs from around the world. Through this initiative, we are bringing together 12 key players of innovative hubs worldwide. Last week, we covered the panel from Argentina, Brazil, and Chile. During that panel, the countries agreed that there is no political conditions to interact and build together a major hub of innovation for the region. Also, it was very interesting to see that entrepreneurs and the civil society acted very fast to surpass the pandemic impact and bring up solutions to face these tough times. If you missed last week's panel, I strongly recommend you to check it out. And as soon as this panel is over. Today we are bringing you Mexico, Colombia, and Peru. These key players will exchange points of views and share experiences, which can provide a better view and understanding of the future. Now, to that end, I'll leave you in with Gustavo Sanchez.
Thank you, Cesar. Today, we have representatives from 3 Latin American countries, Colombia, Mexico, and Peru, following their colleagues of last week from Argentina, Brazil, and Chile. They will be addressing and showcasing how their countries face the pandemic, the challenges they encountered during the process of preserving local innovative industries, and what were the results of their actions. Here, we will talk about all the key players, civil society, governments, and enterprises. To start, I would like to introduce Victor Hugo Malagon from Colombia. He is the president of the Foro of the Presidents, Rodrigo Maldonado, program manager, director of Startup Mexico, and Luis Narro, Executive Director of PECAP and the Angel Investor Association from that country.
So we have so many questions for you all. For example, what can be learned through this experience of having to deal with the impact of the pandemic? What is the expected future for the innovative industries after COVID-19? What have societies done to protect innovation during these trying times? And in what ways did they succeed? And what are the key lessons we can take from this? Before starting with our guests, I would like to ask anyone who's watching to send questions, if you have any, through our forms below the transmission in our webpage. The questions will be answered after the presentations of the panelists. So to start with, I would like to invite Victor Hugo to make the first remarks. Victor, the voice is yours.
Thank you, Sandra, and good morning for everyone. Thank you for this important invitation. Sandra, Cesar, Gustavo, Salvador, and all members of Latam Tech UK and Contexto, and all the organizations and partners for his permanent spirit of integration and collaboration. Thank you for this invitation. It's a very big pleasure for me being here with this selected group of colleagues and friends like Jose Manuel and Luis from my dear Mexico and Peru. Thank you all for generating this special space for conversation and learning. Let me only a very, very short reflection about the question of this event. If you have the presentation, please. Thank you. Then next, please. I begin this brief intervention with Albert Einstein when he said, especially for times of crisis, imagination is more important than the current situation demands from us, especially in business, a new disposition to better understand and face the challenges for our survival and our sustainability. Next, please. For this reason, the question I want to answer is, how will scenarios like COVID-19 transform the culture for growth and innovation in countries like Colombia? Next, please. And let me approach the answer from the perspective of my professor, Ronald Heifetz. The single biggest failure in the exercise of leadership is to treat adaptive challenges like technical problems, and therefore to apply technical solutions. The need to differentiate between technical and adaptive challenges is crucial to managers and leaders. Appreciating this difference will provide us with the possibility to clearly define the purpose and the more effective line of action. Technical challenges are those can be solved by the knowledge of experts. Adaptive challenges are complex and ambiguous in nature and may be volatile and unpredictable because are generally related with the cultural dimension of people, our behaviors, our beliefs, our emotions, our traditions even. Solutions to this type of challenges usually require people to learn new ways of doing things, change their attitudes, values, and norms, and adopt an experimental mindset. Next, please. I don't have one. For that reason, sorry. For that reason, technical problems are easy to identify, often lend themselves to quick and concrete solutions, often can be solved by an authority or expert. People are generally receptive to technical solutions, and technical solutions can often be implemented quickly, even by decree. On the other hand, adaptive challenges are difficult to identify and easy to deny, require changes in values, beliefs, roles, relationships, an approach to how to accomplish goals. People with the problem are the main actors who need to do the work of solving it, require change in numerous places, usually cross organizational boundaries, therefore require systems thinking. People often resist while acknowledge the existence of the adaptive challenges. Solutions require experiments and new discoveries. Adaptive challenges require adaptive leadership. Adaptive leadership is based on the principles of shared responsibility and continuous learning. Next, please. So we must understand that in Colombia, from companies, we face technical problems and also adaptive problems, adaptive challenges. We are, for example, a country with 50 million people now. Colombia is the most populated country in the world, the 28th most populated country, and the third in Latin America. Next, please. We are a country of entrepreneurs, as shown by the main indexes in the world. Next, please. Colombia is leading in sustainable development, in sustainable growth in the region. For example, you can see in this slide the GDP growth versus consumption, even the GDP growth versus investment with the statistics from our government, from ProColombia, that is a very important institution in Colombia. Please. Colombia is one of the countries with the greatest potential for expansion in different sectors. For example, the agricultural land. Next, please. But we have opportunities in other sectors. For example, now we are searching a lot, looking for a lot of opportunities in automotive and auto parts sector, metalworking, construction materials. Next, please. A good example is our first Colombian unicorn, that is Rappi, a very interesting and big from the private sector. Next, please. We are better understanding the application of exponential technologies in different sectors and industries. In summary, we have different technical challenges, among which I highlight the following: the need for a better legislation promotes innovation in industries, better access to infrastructure and technology, higher social appropriation of knowledge for the application of exponential technologies in business, of course, new financing schemes for innovation among, but dear friends and the people that are part of this conversation, technical problems are solvable. And we have in Colombia right now a government and some institutions committed with the appropriation of technology and innovation in different sectors of the economy. For example, Impulsa, that is our innovation agency, official agency in Colombia, that is our investment and exportations. Even the World Economic Forum just opened Latin America's first center for the fourth industrial revolution, and the fifth in the world. Medellin, for example, creativity worldwide. One of the most violent cities in the world 30 years ago is today an example of innovation and entrepreneurship. Believe me, that technical problems will be solved with technical solutions that are already in place. Next, please. On sustainability of Colombia, but I'm afraid that they are very similar in Latin America, in Peru, in Mexico. Trying, respecting the time, allow me to share with you three important adaptive challenges for the innovative industries in Colombia now. The first one, language flexibility. Language, from my point of view, is the most powerful expression of culture. Unfortunately, in our country, we create great language barriers between academia, universities, business, the state, the government, and the civil society. We must try to improve the dialogue between university, companies, government, and civil society. I personally admire this model. Is known triple or tetrahelix. Next, please. The second challenge, adaptive challenge, is for me the consolidation of a cooperation to create sustainable value in the triple bottom line, economic, social, and environmental value. And for this, it is necessary to develop trust and social capital. Social capital defined by Professor Francis Fukuyama as the social skill to work cooperatively in the achievement of common goals. It's so hard for our society to develop this type of skills. Next, please. And the third adaptive challenge is learn to unlearn in order to relearn. This is one of the most difficult adaptive challenges because it implies an intensive cultural transformation in the long term. We have to change our mind. Next, please. And finally, one of the most important cultural challenges in Colombia is to overcome our egos. That's why I end up with this very famous cartoon in Latin America. I don't know if you know Mafalda, the great Mafalda, when she says to herself, my main worry is how to get down the egoism index. Thank you again for this invitation. As you know, you count with me and with institutions like Foro de Presidentes, with more than 30 years old, creating value for society in Colombia. Now with 200 leaders, rectors, presidents, CEOs from 36 different economic sectors, we have the interest and the commitment to advance in these challenges. Next, please. For Colombia, 2020 will be remembered as the year a new normal began. The year we overcome the fear of failing and trying again. The year in which entrepreneurs start again using innovation and technology. Thank you all.
Thank you, Victor. And well, I have so many questions to you, but before I introduce Mexico, I would like to remind us also everybody that you may send your questions and comments through our chat below the presentation. Now we're going to hear
thank you to everybody. Sandra, for this invitation. Well, I'm Rodrigo Maldonado, part of the Startup Mexico team. My role places to create programs for innovation and entrepreneurship. And well, I would like to share with you a little presentation, also like Victor did. Yeah, there you are. So innovation in Mexico during COVID-19 quarantine, it was quite difficult. This period, most of all in Mexican economy, which is based on micro enterprises. Warming, like charming, for example. This is a little business and a micro enterprise, which originally was a coffee shop, and they got into financial problems, of course. And then just to keep alive into the market, they create this option, this little innovation for their process, for their value proposition. So they create this little coffee shop, mobile coffee shop. So if you want to have a birthday party with your couple or with your family, you can even go to open spaces, of course, with healthy social distance. And Apapacho creates very great a warming space where you can find this kind of solutions. They put the coffee shop whatever you want it to be. So that is the resilience that sometimes we can see into Mexican entrepreneurship, and of course the way they use innovation in order to keep alive into the market. Next, please. So there were some programs, for example, and there are some programs also that are running out. For example, Nodos in Mexico, which is created by an institution that push entrepreneurs to go abroad. Knows Mexico create some programs, and they looked for innovation hubs into Mexico that create some programs or solutions to maybe give training for people into innovation knowledge or entrepreneurship knowledge, just in order to use this time, this close time, the time that you spend into your home, instead of watching just TV. You can take some workshops, for example, or take a little class just in order to promote innovation and entrepreneurship. Also, next, please. Also, there were this organization, as you can see in the center of the screen, you can read CONACYT, which is a government organism that promotes science and technology. They create this option in working with the government, with Mexico's government, to look for science and technology which can solve some investigation about coronavirus in Mexico, and also which this kind of researches were promoted just in order to can help Mexican society to have this tolerance and this resilience against just in order to give Mexican society power, or to empower them. Next, please. Also, we were part of the Observatory of Public Sector of Innovation. As you can see on screen, Mexico was participating with 12 innovation projects. You can look for your country also into this amazing in this amazing program, because it was a program. So this tracker shows that next please. This tracker shows that we have options, 12 innovative projects, as you can see on screen. Most of them came from Nuevo León, which is in the northest part of the country. But also we saw that there are some activities in the southest part. For example, Tabasco create a digital response to help a small business to start to run during the new normality, as we want to see. Also, Mexico City has a new platform to help digital, or to encourage digital platforms into business. We have a Northern coordination of Mexico, which is made by 5 states in the northern part of Mexico. Well, as you can see, we were participating even internationally to create this kind of solutions. Next, please. Also, for example, I was reading last night, looking for information to this presentation. I was reading into the Financiero, which is a newspaper that Facebook is looking for small business to help them with some credits. For example, just recently, I think 3 weeks ago, Facebook launched Facebook payment. So just in order to create a help, Facebook is looking for some micro enterprises, not just in Mexico, even in Latin America. In fact, so if you are in Latin America, you can look for it to have this kind of credits. And I think it's a huge option to promote micro enterprises, entrepreneurship, and of course innovation, to raise options during this hard period. Next, please. Also, by our Horizon, Startup Mexico has some products or some projects to help innovation and of course entrepreneurs. For example, we have a huge enterprise that is Rotoplas. Here in Mexico, Rotoplas is this huge business where you can buy these huge containers for water, and you can, you know, you can have your water into the floor, or even on the top of your your home, however you use it. But they were looking for a mapping for about innovation here in Mexico. So they collect some information from a form, for example. Also, we create Mente Medica, which is the translation could be medical mind, which is a social network for doctors, investigators, and scientific people who were looking for information just in order to create COVID researches in order to look for an answer. For example, Russia did this morning. I was reading early in the morning that they have a first vaccine, right? So that's the same point that we want to do with Mente Medica, to a reunion in this kind of field. Yeah. Next, please. Also, we were looking for entrepreneurs that could participate for EWC, the Entrepreneurship World Cup, and we were looking for idea, early stage or scale up stage, for example, into some startups or entrepreneurship, just in order to help them to go abroad or have a solution to participate and let them go to Saudi Arabia next year. And finally, we have this challenge, this Smart Agri-Food Summit, where we promote innovation for food here in Mexico, but also coordinating with, in coordination with the Startup Europe ecosystem, just in order also, again, to take our knowledge, our innovation, our startups and entrepreneurs to go abroad and make higher their value proposition. Next, please. And there you are. That happened here in Mexico. So if you want to have a little chat with me, there you can see my information. And I know there are going to be some questions at the end, so it will be nice to talk about it. So thank you, Sandra.
Thank you, Rodrigo. And now finally, let's know what's happening with the innovative industries in Peru and how they are dealing with the pandemic. Luis Narro, please, your first remarks.
Thank you, Sandra. Thank you, Cesar, Salvador, Gustavo, Victor, and Rodrigo for participating and for this invitation. Yes, next slide, please. Yeah, so I want to do a brief introduction to our innovation ecosystem. As it is shown in the presentation, I am Executive Director of PECAP. PECAP is the Seed and Venture Capital Association. Next slide, please. Okay, so I built an agenda on 3 main points. Just a short intro of who we are in PECAP. How was the innovation scene in Peru before COVID-19? And which are the main challenges and like some of the responses that we've seen in the innovation ecosystem in Peru now that we are in the new normal, as it was mentioned before. Next slide, please. Yes, so as I was mentioning, PECAP is the Seed and Venture Capital Association in Peru. Our main objective is to increase the number of venture capital deals in Peru. We've done this through showing data around the ecosystem, which are the main invested sectors, how much was invested in venture capital ever since 2017. We are also collaborating with the government in some initiatives. As Victor was mentioning before, in our countries, we still lack more focus from the public sector in the innovation, innovative industries. And that's part of our role, also sharing what we think as the Association of Venture Capital Investors here in Peru. Next slide, please. Okay, so these are our members. We have full members or accelerators, angel networks, venture capital funds, and as service providers, law firms, financial consultancy firms, accounting, technical technology providers, of a different type of companies, but everyone's the same objective as we PECAP, that is to promote the venture capital scene here in Peru. Next slide, please. Okay, so that was a short introduction on PECAP. Now let's share some thoughts about the innovation scene in the pre-COVID times. Next, please. Okay, Peru, I think, has been very lucky to have received public support in different levels. So there is an office here in Peru called Innovate Peru, and there is also Concitec, both in the initial innovation cycle, as one can call it, like research and innovation. There has been some grants allocated to research projects, startups, in addition to incubators, accelerators, networks. Even VC funds have received support from the government to initiate. So as you can see, we have filled the ecosystem map with a lot of logos. We have a lot of incubators in Lima and also in inner Peru. A lot of investors already actively participating in Peru and other countries. So regional funds investing in South Peru. Public are there playing their role. And one of the a little bit more was participation. So in order to participate, and the ones that were a little bit active were now investing in companies. We're now developing open innovation initiatives. I still think there is a big opportunity here to put more logos and more companies participating from the corporate side. But we have some already and that have been participating actively. So overall, we have a support system for entrepreneurs. Of course, there are still challenges in organizations to be sustainable, to provide more knowledge to entrepreneurs. But the government back in 2011 when this started is next, please. And I wanted to paint a picture also on how the venture scene in Peru is going on. I think in other countries, friends and family is there, and also like savings from the owners. This is happening, of course. As I mentioned before, we have some grants from the government that help the initial years of companies. We have some accelerator money. I think we can have more accelerators in the earlier stages, but there are some players, for example, Upi Ventures, Equid Ventures, Studio, Usil Ventures. They are part of the ecosystem and actively investing in the earlier stages. We also have some angel investment money. I think this is one of the reasons why the ecosystem has thrived, at least in the investment landscape. And angels have been trained, angels have been introduced to companies like a right way, not so aggressively as like it has happened in other occasions, that they have put a lot of money or that they have maybe invested only in one company. There are like this intermediary organizations such as the angel networks that help manage the expectations between angel investors and companies. I think that's so far what we have, like not probably like as a developed ecosystem, I don't know, in the US or in Europe, but still I think we have some good backbone here in the ecosystem. In terms of funds, we already have some seed funds investing in Peruvian companies, local seed funds investing in Peruvian and regional companies. Also, some funds that have participated in investment rounds for Peruvian companies. But I still think there is a need to have more to have more funds that can bringing money into the ecosystem in a more professional way. Angels have the role, and it is very important for the earlier stages. But we think that having funds is, of course, a natural step ahead in the way that money can be managed and allocated into companies. Series A funds and plus, those are still very nascent. There is one fund that wants to tackle Series A. There is an impact fund that is based in Colombia and that is investing in